What's going on, everybody? Another episode of 4x4 Camping and Adventures coming at ya. In today's episode, something new, something a little bit different, one-off, I suppose. The Snorkle. So, my mate at Nick's Mechanical went out and, well, we decided to have a bit of a conversation around getting a snorkel made up for the car. And I sort of had a bit of look around. You know, you can get the $100 eBay ones, you can get, you know, Stano ones, all that kind of stuff made up. And we sort of come up with the idea of, well, why don't we just make our own, because it's a one-off, it's custom. There's no other Triton that obviously has this kind of snorkel on it. Similar Tritons, but not this particular snorkel. And then we sort of talked about getting an Airbox made up as well. So the standard Airbox is fine, there's no issue there. But it's a 4-inch snorkel going into a 3-inch pipe going into the turbo. So I wanted a 4-inch inlet pipe. So you can't really fabricate like a hose or a pipe on the side of a like the factory Airbox, because they're made of plastic. So we sort of decided to go for an aluminium Airbox. So this is, I suppose, the end result. It's a 4-inch. I haven't actually painted it properly, so just before I got it put on, I went for a trip and yeah, try to sort of test it out, that kind of thing. And I just sort of slapped a bit of paint on there. So what I got to do is just sort of prime it and then sand it back and smooth it out and that kind of thing. But I absolutely love it. I think the intake sand now is absolutely fantastic. So you'll see it in the video, the intro, where I was sort of flogging up that massive sand dune, which took 3 goes. The first time I tried it was on highway pressures, so I was on like 45 pound or something in the rear. So as soon as I got to the top, it just bogged right down. So second try, I tried to give it another go, then traction control was on. So anyway, third try, got up there nice and happy and all the rest of it. But the main reason I wanted to go up the sand dune is air intake temperatures. So as you'll know, I've got the Ironman bull bar, there's a winch in there, and a lot of that does affect the airflow going into the intercooler. So what I did notice is when I put these bigger tyres on here, my air intake temperature was actually rising. So when I was on the highway, I was sitting about 80 degrees, and when I was going up a hill, it was getting to like 90 to 100 degrees. So something along the mix was, it was sucking in hot air and it was blowing in hot air from the turbo. The intercooler might not have been as efficient as it used to be, when obviously it had the full, you know, factory front bar. So my sort of main concern was around air intake temperatures. So I sort of, as I said, I had a discussion with Nick, and the best cold air intake obviously is a Snorkle. So that's sort of where we ended up. Now, just a recent trip, cruising at 110 on the highway, the air intake temperatures didn't go above 60 degrees. It was a reasonably warm day, about 30 degrees. So it's definitely doing something in the cooling down the air intake on that side of things. And obviously I think it looks fantastic. You probably agree if I get out of the way. I think it looks pretty damn cool on the truck. And as I said, it's got that awesome sound. So what I'll do is I'll open up this bonnet and I'll just have a little bit of a show, obviously, what's going on under here. And then, yeah, just a few other things that I've done to the car since I've done my last update video. I've been a little bit busy. So just a few other things that I wanted to show you, and I'll sort of leave it at that. So sort of a little bit of an update video, plus obviously talking about the snorkel and that kind of stuff. So we'll get into the under bonnet situation. So this is the under bonnet situation now. So you can see, I'll just come around this side so it don't look like you're talking to a torso. Alloy box. So there's a fair bit going on here. So this wasn't a small job. Custom made, fully welded up aluminium box. As I said, again, a one-off, and it's bracketed onto the factory brackets. We had to essentially do a block of aluminium and cut out a MAF sensor. So obviously where the MAF sensor goes on the car, which obviously goes into my EGR delete module, I should say. We had to obviously go into a 3-inch pipe and get this, essentially this whole aluminium block milled out and fit for this MAF sensor, because obviously with a MAF or a mass airflow sensor, the intake pipe, like the actual pipe, can't be bigger than factory, because it's actually going to throw the actual MAF sensor out. so it throws a code. So what we had to do is obviously get a 3-inch pipe and obviously go into the turbo as it was if it was a factory setup. And then obviously on this side we go from 4-inch into a pod filter. So there's a pod filter in here, it's fully sealed. I have tested it, it's completely sealed, it doesn't need any water or anything in there, which is fantastic. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So as I said, this was a one-off full welded aluminium box done by Nick. So he spent a bit of time on this, and it looks absolutely fantastic. I've got a bit of space up here, probably just get a little bit of a decal or something like that up there. We had to relocate obviously the coolant overflow bottle. So the coolant overflow bottle on these cars is right here, so essentially right where the Snorkle comes in. So we had to relocate that. So what we did is fabbed up some brackets onto the back of the Airbox and obviously just made it fit onto the back of there. So instead of having it here, which some relocation kits, the eBay relocation kits mount them here, I didn't really want that there because then every time you have to do something with the headlights or something around that area, you got to take the whole thing off, and it's just a massive pain in the ass, and I'm not really into that. So we had to put it right behind, and the pipe was well long enough to go into the back of it, so which was fine. So that is now at home there. At the moment it's a bit of a temporary fix. We're making up a bracket for the catch cans. That's just sort of sitting on there. There's a couple of cable ties holding that in place, but in a further day there'll be a bracket and that kind of thing made up for that. We're just going to put it sort of underneath this ABS module here, but we're just going to fab up some brackets, so that's in the future. And that is about it. So this is pretty much where all the magic happened, and this is probably the hardest bit out of the whole lot. Because obviously it's 4-inch pipe, not many places in Esperance that can bend 4-inch pipe. It's a bit of a tricky thing. So what Nick actually had to do is get it on the right bends and then cut it, weld it, cut it, weld it, cut it, weld it, and obviously get the right angle. So like a Patrol, they're a 45-degree angle on the pillar. These are about a 29 degrees, so it was really hard to sort of get it fitted up properly. But probably the main thing I like about it is the actual Snorkle doesn't impede onto the guard. So there's only one hole here, and it's about this big. I'll get some footage of it, but it doesn't actually impede on the guard, and the whole Snorkle sits pretty much flush with the guard. And the way it sort of goes up is designed to go over the roof, because these things do make a bugger of a noise. They can be quite loud. So what we did is we angled it to be above the roof, so that massive amount of intake sound, if you put the window down you can hear it for days, but if you obviously close the window when you're on the highway, you don't actually get that real I suppose annoying at that speed suction noise. So we sort of put the bit of the end pipe on there and obviously bent it off, and that looks obviously fantastic. And I'm going to get a sock for it, a unifilter sock, just to go on the end of it. So obviously I do a fair bit of gravel roads and dusty trails and that kind of stuff, so just to I suppose take a bit of pressure off the pod, I'm going to put a pre-filter up there as well. So that's all ordered and everything, and that's going to be on the car real soon. So that is pretty much the update based on what's happening under the bonnet. As I said, this is quite a unique car now. Obviously the dual battery trays are quite unique. I don't see too many Tritons out there with them. Obviously got the Forefront Industries intake system, which is fantastic. I still absolutely love that. And for the price of a single pipe from Mitsubishi, you can replace your whole intake system. And obviously now the Airbox and the Snorkle. So the whole intake system I think is now pretty well done. And now obviously it's going to really enjoy the tune we put through it. So yeah, I'll leave it there, I think. Just enjoy obviously these extra couple of shots obviously I'll get of the Snorkle and bits and bobs of the craftsmanship here. But as I said, massive thanks to Nick's Mechanical. If you're in the Esperance area and you need some work done in your car, or even if you're travelling through Esperance and you need something done in your car, like something's broken down, give him a shout out, obviously give him a call. I'll chuck his number on the screen now. But tell him Braden from 4x4 Camping and Adventures sent you, and he might even give you a discount. So, but yeah, absolutely fantastic work. The workmanship on the actual product is second to none. His welding skills, everything like that was fantastic, and I could not be happier with the end result. So I'm going to sort of leave this video here, which is going to touch into another video of sort of things we did to fit something else new in the car. So I'll jump into that video, which is probably going to come out after this video. But yeah, I'll leave it there, and I'll see you in the next video. If not, I might even see you on the tracks and trails, and I'll see you later. Bye.